And on that note, we say good morning. We say hope everybody's having a blessed morning, a blessed week. This is your this is your midweek motivation session. Yes, there's a couple things I want to get to today. Especially, I have an announcement that I'm going to do later on in the show. Pretty big one, something I've been talking about for a long time, may be coming to fruition. Bliss Chris, hope you're having a beautiful morning. Rabbits Chaos, Steve, thank you, brother. I appreciate you. Prayers for you, brother. I hope the doctor gives you clean bill of health, man. Clean bill of health. Um, Believe it or not, a lot has taken place in the last few days. And with one of the things being, well, I can give you a couple of, not the big announcement, but leading up to. So I may or may have not two people yesterday who were very big in the world called, I guess, not just celebrity status, but very big. Jen and Barrett, very big in the entertainment business, who, like I said, I never called favors in. So, I believe that what I was told yesterday, as soon as you're ready, I'll wear a shirt on camera. So, you know, and then I may or may not have, man, there's a lot of announcements, maybe not just a big announcement. Tattoo convention comes up, I think, in February. If everything goes well, I'm going to try to secure a seat at that, or maybe a table, or maybe try to do something with somebody to unload the clothing line. But before we go crazy with that, I mean, I want you guys to still know that the uh, the homeless veterans drive Operation Give Back is still on. And then the crazy thing is, start September, we start doing Make the Wish. So I'm going to close this thing out probably. Here we go. All linked up Operation Give Back. Support the mission. Homeless veterans. Sock. Sock care packs. Yeah, drive. That's what we're trying to do. We already have 100. So we're going to be, moving it along. And the good thing is, though, I have the web page done. Well, not almost done. Today it'll be done. The store should be up and running, meaning that hopefully, if everything goes right, by the end of this week or by the beginning of next week, you'll be able to order shirts and go from there. Like I said, this has been a year a year thing. Plus, if you look at the news and everything going on, I mean, there's so many topics to talk about. There's so much, that we could get into. But to me, it's like, to push a positive message to whatever people may be into it or not, this clothing line is going to be something that's going to be able to overpower a lot of negative. It's going to be able to overshadow, without a doubt, a lot of bull. Because when I start getting rolling with this thing, and as it grows and grows and grows, it's not about money for me. What it's about is paying it forward. And like I always said, my main thing is to open youth centers. And, that's part of the big announcement. So I'll give you a little half of that. The first half of the big announcement is this. I have somebody, I've already filled the paperwork out for a grant that I could use to utilize that money and allocate those funds to getting a piece of property, making up the expectations for L&I or whoever, do everything by code, get it safe, put cameras, have a place where kids can go and build confidence, read books, not be on the internet all day. Start really understanding what it's like to not other people think. Just because if you don't have a nice pair of clothes on, that you have to worry about what the next man or woman has, because you'll be laughed at or you'll be bullied. Because the people who bully were bullied, and they're miserable and they don't feel right, and they feel the only way to handle that or to scratch the itch, so you may say, is to pass it forward. And then you have to question the parents when where were the parents? Because if the parents were there, why would these kids act like this? Well, Sometimes the parents aren't there. Sometimes it takes people like me, us, to step up and not feel that you're not anybody's parent, but to step up and be that positive influence in the kid's life to where you can help them, make them understand that, even though this life's hard and it's rough, there's a light at the end of the tunnel. And the light at the end of the tunnel is simple. Obviously, the faith thing, kids younger ages, they either do it or they don't. Most of them don't. But you have to flip it. You have to give them incentives. Let kids know if they stay out of trouble and if they, you know, respect people, period. Teachers, mothers, aunts, uncles, fathers, people in the street. I mean, I watched going into a Wawa, I watched four young dudes almost barrel over an older woman. And I'm grabbing the door. Now I'm stuck inside the thing with four young kids. They're pretty big. And what am I supposed to do? Just sit there and I'm not condoning fighting or none of that. But at that point, my main goal was to protect that woman, and you got to say to yourself, well, if you dissect the families of these said kids, you see maybe a father wasn't there, maybe mother wasn't there, maybe they were both there. Maybe there was other things that went on. Maybe there was trauma at a young age to where the only thing that felt good was rage. And to me, that's what is exploited here a lot on this YouTube thing. So to me, a youth center can help these kids and make them understand the direction of life is ultimately in their hands. But if you go this way, it's this way. If you go that way, it's this way. But don't talk at them. Talk to them. That's another problem. Too many people in suits trying to tell kids what to do. So the grant, that's the first part, the grant. If that goes, that'll be good. And then the second part of the big announcement is that you know, I've been writing a book about this whole process, losing my parents, and I think I may or may not have a publisher that's going to pick it up. Now, I don't know. I don't even have the whole book done, but it's pretty much a reference guide to help, people who are in my situation that I was, like with a sick parent, from the whole terminology debacle, because it's very hard to understand some of that, to have to even from the nurses who sometimes, you know, do things in a way that we may not like, but there's a way to deal with that. Then you have the fact, just even being that your parents took care of us and then we take care of them. A lot of people don't know you have palliative care, hospice. Most people do, but people who've never been through it, it's very easy to get overwhelmed, upset, distracted, because when you have a loved one that you're caring for and you're watching them ultimately head to their demise, and most people are not paying attention because they're so confused and they're just trying to do everything to keep that said patient or family member in comfort, no pain, make sure that they're clean and, no bed sores and all the stuff that you have to do. But, the way I did it was from experience and hands on. So I think I've learned a lot of shortcuts, not shortcuts in care, just shortcuts to do things. Like there's a certain way when you're washing a patient on a bed that some people do it this way, some people do it that way, where it's very easy. So, if that will come true and I can get this book and do it, I'm not saying New York Times bestseller, but maybe somebody could help out, somebody who's never been through that could read it and understand and say, you know what, this book really helped me. Now I know what to do. But remember too, it's no easy task. None of this is this thing called life, you know. But everything else is direct correlation and hooked up with the clothing line, because the all linked up brand will be a small portion of that will be going to a foundation that I'm not ready to name that yet because I'm still working on the LLC. I actually was just talking to Ceci about that yesterday. But for me, it's everything going on in the world is bananas. We need some positive back into this thing called life. It's so easy to get crazy and just run your mouth and talk. But oh well. But no, I do hope everybody's having a great day. But I want to say a couple more things. Oh, by the way, I forgot about that. We're gonna be doing this. I didn't talk to Kingston yet, but I'm gonna be doing a trivia night, maybe Friday night or Saturday night. It's gonna be at the thumbnail. It's gonna be 1980s, 90s, 2000s trivia night podcast. Meaning, it's not gonna just be oldies or music. It's gonna be maybe movies and music, maybe some sporting things, a whole bunch of trivia that I think will be really fun. I'll let you know in advance so we can build it up and so we can get some people in here. Now let me have the kids here. They're being good. You hear that? Shh. I checked it. Yeah, Bliss, I have a good one coming up. No, that's fine. No, but at the end of the day, you know, what I want to do here is have everything that's here on this podcast, and to all the haters too. I want to this voice that I have is to do something good with it, and that means to help others. And unfortunately, when you go with that, you have a lot of naysayers, a lot of negative, a lot of people that don't want to see you doing that. But Rabbit said she sucks at trivia. I don't know. I'm trying to be part of the solution, not part of the problem. And with doing that, I feel like that the clothing line will be a good way too, because once I get that up and running and I get it to a point where it's at, then you can start hiring people, giving these young kids jobs. And then, maybe have some scholarship stuff going on and, you know, Trivial Pursuit. Well, we'll pick something that's a little bit easier. But like the main thing is doing for others. All these people in here that run their mouth and think that they have a big channel, ask them what they've done for anybody. Maybe they have, maybe they haven't. That makes me feel good when I help others, you know? And if I can get it now to a point where it's on a level where kids actually have somewhere to go, can be monitored, the parents can see right from their phone what's going on at all times, have good people in there. I mean, I'm not talking about infants. I'm talking about like older kids, the kids that are ready to go the wrong way. Right now, I just seen a bunch of them. The other night, I was leaving the store. I won't say where. And I seen a bunch of them hanging out, smoking cigarettes. And I just walked up and I said, "Look, I'm not here to talk to you. I'm here to ask you a question. What do you think is going to happen?" And they were vaping too. "What do you think is going to happen in a couple years?" And they said, "Oh man, I'm young and vaping's not bad. That was a myth or this." And I said, "Look, I don't care what you do, but there's a very big percentage of kids who smoke at a young age who are very susceptible to be exposed and maybe not even to insert themselves into some drama." And that's what's going on. Look at all over the news. You don't have to be a Democrat or Republican to agree or disagree. Facts are facts. Look at Washington, D.C., what these kids are doing, terrorizing people. That's a sign of a bully. Why do bullies do that? Because most likely they were bullied. So how do you break that chain of event? Kids have to see that there's other things. Most of the music that's out here, most of these so-called stand-up guys, all they do is, make it that the only way that you could be respected in the street is to be some kind of tough guy. But they don't last, man. Well, Bliss, he said he's trying to go over there too. Trump said he wanted to go over there. And he's like, nah, he's a dictator. He's not a dictator. He's literally had, look, I'm just saying this. Trump has the Democrats up on the wall right now, and they are defending criminals. That's what it's come to. F Trump, help them. That's fine if that's what they want to do. But to all the Republicans, too, they did the same shit. They didn't do nothing before about it either. And then you got, it's such a conflict because people feel that if the guy has a win, then he's no good. I'm getting sick of that if I voted for Trump, racist, demagogue, homophobe. That's the problem, what I've learned about a lot of these people when they don't agree with you. They say they don't stand for this, this, and that, but once you don't agree with them, you become everything that they say they don't stand for. And it's so easy for them to say that because that's how they think. It's crazy. But the bottom line states that you can't control the government, so you control what you can do in your community. That's the mission that I'm on. Do what you can do at a level. Maybe it'll be a day where you can get to a bigger level where you can expand and help others all over. But in the meantime, collectively, right around in your inner circle, in your neighborhood, that's where it starts at. The people you build relationships. Kids play sports together. They grow up. Hardwire, what's up, man? And that's why I say, it's why I always like, even with the bikers, I never understood because, yeah, there's a lot of punk ass bikers out there, even one percenters, no clubbers. A lot of guys in clubs that are stone cold bitches. There's a lot of good dudes in clubs. But when it comes time to doing something for kids or doing something in the community, whether you like them or not, they always come together and make something happen. And people are so stuck on one little thing that they do that's not right to anybody. It's like, oh, well, look, they did this. They did 20 good things, but no, they did this one thing. My father always told me, they'll never remember the good you do. They'll always remember the one bad. That's just the way that it is. But with this clothing line and this youth center, hopefully it'll come to fruition, will give me an outlet to do a lot of things. Have a little small classes with kids learning how to print T-shirts. Have a small class with education. Kids need to learn business. Kids need to learn confidence. Kids need to stop worrying about what everybody else thinks. And to be honest, the government needs to do more too about their, a kid can get on and play Fortnite, 8, 9 years old, and all of a sudden he's playing with a grown man. How does that happen? There's so much we can do. There's so much you can't do because you're not in reach. So what do? Take a deep breath, pray on it, and do what you can and take care of what's in front of you. That's all that matters. Nothing else matters. It used to take a village to raise kids, right? Now it's like every man for himself. People get home from work, they run in the house, shut the door, pull the blades, pull the shades, because everybody's, distraught. People don't know what's going on. People's like, wait a minute. This thing called life is crazy what we live, man. But I wanted to pop on here this morning, just give you that couple little information, man. I have a lot going on today. As you can hear, the grandkids are in the background driving me nuts. And I got to make them some breakfast. But I think the trivia night will probably tomorrow night or Saturday. I got to talk to a couple people and put everything together. I'll have a thumbnail up to let you know when. And if everything goes right, the shirts, I should have some inventory next week. And hopefully that's possible. So we can get this ball on the road. This road on the ball. No problem, Bliss. Thank you too. She's cool people, man. Bliss is down to earth. For real. Good people, and I appreciate everybody that stopped by. Hit that like, subscribe button, man. Stay blessed, not stressed. Let God handle the rest, man. If you're up in the morning and you're looking for some positive influence, reinforcement, this your station. If you want the drama, over there. But anyway, I appreciate everybody coming by. Seriously. Have a blessed day. Be kind, man. It doesn't cost anything. Mike Ball up, 11 o'clock.